Good day everyone. We are the group 3 and we will be continuing the lesson 3, the chapter 3 lessons and the bit of chapter 4. So now let us proceed the Republic Act number 10707 of 2015. So this law was signed on November 26, 2015 by President B.U.S. Aquino III. So kining law, kining Republic Act nag-amend sa Presidential Decree number 968 na known po as the Probation Law of 1976. So in short, it improves how probation works in the Philippines. Next, the grant of probation. So the court may suspend the sentence of a person and allow him or her to be placed under probation. Pero before mag-grant, dapat convicted na siya of sentence for probationable penalty. Then, the offender must apply for probation within the period allowed for appeal. Meaning, dili pwede nga diretso lang ihatag ang probation, kinahanglan ma-apply gyud ang offender ug ipa-approve sa court. Next, disqualified offenders. According to Section 2 of RA 10707, na ay mga tao nga dili pwede mahatagan og probation. So, mao ni siya is number 1, katong mga offenders nga sentence of more than 6 years imprisonment. 2, katong convicted of crimes against national security like terrorism. 3, katong nakasala na before ug naay previous conviction with imprisonment of more than 6 months or fine over 1,000 pesos. 4, katong naka-avail na og probation before, kay once lang pwede mahaktagan, dili na sila pwede mahaktagan og balik probation kung naka-probation na sila last. And 5, katong already serving sentence when the probation law took effect. And then, termination of probation. So, after the probation period, kung makita sa court, based sa report sa probation officer na the person fulfilled all the conditions, pwede ni siya ma-finally discharged. That means terminated na ang probation and the case is considered closed. Next is the Volunteer Probation Assistance or VPAs. Mano siya ang mga ordinary citizens nagatabang sa mga officers to supervise the probationers. And then Executive Order number 292 of 1987, also called the Administrative Code of 1987, and it was signed by President Corazon Aquino on July 25, 1987. So, kini nga order is rename ang Probation Administration into the Parole and Probation Administration or PPA. Gidungagan pud og functions karon ang PPA dili lang sa probation pero apil na pod sa parole system ug sa pagtabang sa Board of Pardons and Parole. Next, the Republic Act number 10389 of 2013, also known as the Recognizance Act of 2012. So this was signed by President Benigno Aquino III on March 14, 2013. So under this law, ang recognizance is a way to release a person from jail kung dili siya makabayad og bail tungod sa kakuwang sa kwarta. So this helps poor or indigent persons nga dili impriso lang tungod kay wala ikabayad sa bail. Next is the requirements for release on recognizance. So, to be released through recognizance, a person must prove they are poor, na nakaingon na pobre sila, na wala sila kwarta na ipang-bail. Then, have a certificate na gagikan sa social welfare na nagaingon ditoa na they are indigent. And then, already be arraigned that they are formally read their charges in court. And then, be properly documented, like, dapat na sila pictures, all sides of his or her face, and then fingerprints. Next, the local government and prosecutor must be informed for release and recognizance in favor of the accused.
Good day. I'll be discussing the disqualification for release on recognizance. So as shown in the presentation, so the first one is the accused has made untruthful statement in his or her sworn affidavit. Meaning, kung ang accused nangatik or nagbutang og false information sa iyang sworn statement, he or she will not be allowed for release on recognizance. Number 2, the accused is a recidivist, quasi-recidivist, habitual delinquent, or has committed a crime aggravated by the circumstance of reiteration. In simple terms, if the person has already committed a crime repeatedly or is a repeat offender, dili siya pwede ma-release on recognizance because sa iyang record nga balik-balik ang offenses nga iyang ginabuhat. Number 3, the accused has previously escaped from legal confinement, evaded sentence, or violated the condition of bail or recognizance without valid reason. So kung nakasulay na siya og trust nga midagan ay kasaligan nga midagan or wa ni comply sa terms sa bail before, the court will no longer trust him for release again. Number 4, the accused has committed a crime while on probation, parole, or under conditional pardon. This means nga while naa pa siya sa ilawom sa previous nga sentence or conditional freedom, nakabuhat na pud siya og laing krimen. So, ma-disqualified ang recognizance. So, number 5, if the personal circumstances of the accused or the nature of the case show that there's a high probability of flight, or in other words, kung taas ang posibilidad nga mulayas siya ba if i-release, I mean sa mulayas ka ng mo adtog laing bansa gani, mutakas kumbaga, the court will consider that as a risk and will not allow recognizance. Number 6, there's a great risk that the accused may commit another crime during the pendency of the case. Kung makita sa court nga delikado nga buhaton pa niya og lain nga krimen samtang naghulat pa ang kaso, then he or she will be disqualified. Number 7, if the accused has another pending criminal case with the same or higher penalty than the new crime he or she is being accused of. So kung na ba siya ongoing case nga pareho or mas grabe nga kaso, dili gyapon siya qualified for release on recognizance. So the next slide is qualification of the custodian of the person released on recognizance under RA 10389 or the Recognizance Act of 2012. When we say released on recognizance, pasabot ana nga the person is allowed to go free temporarily without paying bail. Pero naa siya'y custodian. Someone nga magbantay o mag-assure nga mubalik siya kung kinahanglan siya isumon sa court. Now, naa siya'y qualification nga dapat ma-meet. First, the custodian must be a person of good repute and probity. Meaning, dapat siya ang tao kay tarong, respected ug trustworthy sa community. Second, dapat taga same barangay siya sa applicant or sa katong grantan o recognizance ba, para mas dali ma-monitor or ma-check kung asa siya, para dili na pod maglisod ang magbantay siya. So mas better jud nga same sila barangay. Third, dili dapat parente ang custodian with the fourth degree. So dili pwede mga igsuon, parente, lolo or lola or cousins para walay bias nga mahitabo. And lastly, the custodian must belong to a certain sectors or organization like the church, academe, social welfare, health sector, or charitable groups nga accredited by the local social welfare officer. So next slide is the arrest of a person released on recognizance under RA 1038-9 section 9. 1038-9 section 9. Even if a person released on recognizance, it doesn't mean nga totally free na siya. There will still certain situation or condition na pwede gyapon siya ma-arrest sa korte. So here are the circumstances when the court can arrest the accused. First, if the court finds a meritorious manifestation made under oath by any person, meaning kung naay tao nga ni-file og sworn statement or complaint under oath, and after hearing both sides, makita sa court nga naay valid reason, then the accused can be arrested. Second, if the accused fails to appear in court during trial or any hearing without valid reason despite being given due notice, gitagaan na siya advance, kanang 1 week before ba nga sa hearing pero wala gyapon siya niadto. In short, kung dili siya motunga sa korte nga walay klarong rason, pwede siya ma-issuean og arrest. Third, if the accused becomes the subject of another complaint involving moral turpitude, meaning another crime na serious in nature, and if the prosecutor or the mayor in that area nagrecommends the arrest to the court, nga na may tabo. And lastly, number 4, if it is shown that the accused committed acts of harassment like stalking, intimidating, or threatening the complaint, prosecutor or witnesses related to the case. So, ang last kay ang Parole and Probation Administration, specifically the Omnibus Rules on Probation Methods and Procedures under Presidential Decree 968. First, it aims to promote correction, rehabilitation via community-based treatment. Meaning, instead of ipapriso dayon ang offender, ginaalaw siya na mag-rehabilitate or mas ma-correct aron ma-correct ang iyang behavior while staying in the community. So it's more on helping the person change rather than just punishing them. So nga na ang community-based treatment, rehabilitation. Second, probation also offers opportunities for reformation and reintegration. So, ginatabangan ang offender nga magbag-o and eventually makabalik sa community as a better person. Third, it aims to prevent offenses para dili na niya usbon or mabuhat balik same crime nga iyang nakomit. Application process. So, first step, the application is filed while the trial court after conviction and within the appeal period. So meaning, after conviction, after ma-convict offender, pwede siya mag-apply for probation before ma-final ang judgment. Second, dapat gamiton ang approved form nga libre ra makuha sa local parole and probation office. Obtainable for free from local parole. Third, it must be filed. The court having jurisdiction over the case. So so same court nga nag-handle sa iyang kaso. Nga na may tabo. So after that, the court will notify the prosecuting officer before a hearing para ma-inform na naay application for probation. Court notifies prosecutor. Prosecutor may comment within a reasonable time. Lastly, the prosecutor can give comments or recommendation within a reasonable time before the court decides kung i-grant ba or dili ang probation.
Hello, good day. My name is Nico Andremal B. Campus, and today I'm going to report about the effects of filing and receipt of the application for probation. So first is effects when a person files for a probation. So first, once the person applies for a probation, the sentence is suspended. Meaning, dili pa siya ipadayon og serve sa iyang sentence. So, dili pa siya mapriso while waiting for the result for the application. So, second is we have the applicant can stay temporarily free using the bail that he or she already filed in his criminal case. So, while waiting for the court's decision, pwede siya makagawas basta na siya bail. So that's for the second one. And for the third is kung wala siya bail or dili siya makabayad, the court can allow his or her release on recognizance, meaning pwede pa siya ma-release sa custody of a responsible member of the community nga nag-assure nga mutungag gihapon siya kung tawagon sa court. So next is we have the post-sentence investigation or PSI. So ang PSI is a part of the process probation. It is an investigation done by the Parole and Probation Office para ma-check kung ang person kay qualified and suitable for probation. So that's for the effects of filing and receipt of the application for probation. So next one is we have the investigation strategies under the Parole and Probation Administration. So first is they set up a sub-offices sa mga layo nga areas and add more field offices in places nga daghan kaayo cases. So for example, kung ang usa ka province layo kaayo sa main office, magbutang sila og sub-office dito para dili nila kinahanglan mo travel pa og layo ang mga clients. So second is they create jail probation units. Kani makatabang para ma-connect ang probation offices sa courts o ang mga detainees sa jail. So example is kung naay prisoner nga gusto mag-apply for probation and jail probation unit ang magtabang sa pag-gather of info o i-connect sa probation office. So one of the example of this is kung naay prisoner nga gusto mag-apply for probation, ang jail probation unit ang magtabang sa pag-gather og mga information o i-connect sa probation office. So third is they reassign field workers to the right offices. So depende kung asa sila mas needed. So for example is kung ang usa ka area daghan kayo og cases, ang mga staff na gagmay workload sa laing lugar pwede ibalhin dito para magtabang. And next, they make sure nga ang investigation reports are done quickly and efficiently para dili ma-delay ang case sa applicant. Like for instance, kung ang court nag-request o report, dapat madala dayon within the given time frame. So they also coordinate with criminal record agencies and court personnel para ma-verify dayon kung nabay previous cases or problems sa applicant. So example of this is check sila sa NBR or police record kung limpyo ba ang isa ka background sa isa ka tao. So that's an example. And yeah, so for the next one, we have the assignment and initial interview worksheet. So this topic is under the probation rules of 2014 section 14. So first is when the trial court receive a case, it will be assigned to the probation officer or office clerk for docketing and investigation. So mao ni siya ang pinaka first step sa probation process, meaning diha magsugod ang trabaho sa probation officer. Next is the initial interview must be done within 5 working days after ma-assign ang case. So within the time dapat makig-meet na ang probation officer sa applicant either in a person or through written contact. Kung busy or layo, pwede resad nga through sulat or communication letter. So during the interview, the applicant is required to sign the important forms. So the post-sentence investigation worksheet or the PPA Form 1 o ang waiver com authorization or the PPA Form 2. So kini nga mga forms importante kaayo kay they allow the probation officer to gather more information about the applicant like their background, their behavior, ug uban pang personal details. And through these forms, the officer can better understand the applicant's situation. So overall, the investigation will be based on the information found in these forms. Pero the officer is also allowed to collect additional data kung kinahanglan pa. Like for example, they can visit the applicant's home or talk to the other people who can give a reliable information. So I think that's all for today. So once again, thank you for listening. This is Nico on your campus. Have a good one. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. Now I will be discussing about the Post-Sentence Investigation Report or PSIR. Ang PSIR no, is an important document na ginahimo sa probation officer after ma-sentence ang isa ka offender. So its main purpose is to help the trial court decide kung ang pag-grant or pag-deny sa probation is fair para masiguro nga ang decision kay makatarungan ba for both the applicant and for the public. So in short, PSIR acts as a guide for the court. So mura siya kanang background check na magpakita kung deserving bang offender for probation. Later, I'll also explain the contents of the report such as the crime details, criminal history, and personal information of the applicant. So now let's start by understanding what is PSIR and why it's important in the justice system. So, post-sentence investigation report or PSIR helps the trial court decide if granting or denying probation is fair, no, para ma-check if it serves justice and the best interest of both the public and the applicant. So, ang probation officer kay required to submit the investigation report to the court within 60 days after receiving the court's order. So, after ana, the court must decide on the probation within 5 days after receiving the report. So, in short, PSIR kay importante jud siya nga step before the court grants probation. So it helps make sure nga ang decision is fair for both sides. Now let's move to the contents of the post-sentence investigation report or PSIR. So first, we have the crime details. Mao ni ang information about the offense, sa nahitabo o kinsa ang involved. So for example, kung ang applicant kay nakakommit og pagpangawat, no, the report will include details like kanus no, like when, where, and how the theft happened, plus testimonies gikan sa victims ug sa police officer. So second, ang criminal history. This part shows kung naa ba siya previous cases or kung first offense pa lang niya, no. So ang example na if it's the applicant's first time to commit a crime, that will be stated in the report. And third, personal information. Diri makita ang educational background, economic status, so social life sa applicant. Like for example, the report may say that the applicant finished high school and nagkatrabaho siya as construction worker. Na siya ka ng small income. Kana. Tapos fourth, applicant profile. So this includes skills, work experience, or other related information. So example na is kung ang applicant kay kabalo ka ng basic carpentry and gusto siya nga magtrabaho para kuan siya ba sweldo siya ganang makaporta siya makita siya ganang stable work after probation. So fifth is ang assessment, dili makita kung ang applicant ba kay suitable for probation, kung kaya ba niya magbag-o. An example, the officer may say the person shows willingness to change and cooperate with community programs. Then ang six is recommendation, diri maghatag og suggestion ang probation officer kung i-grant ba or i-deny ang probation. For example, the officer might recommend granting probation but naa-siya ka ng mga conditions like attending counseling and doing community service. And seven, financial data. This part checks ang income o capacity to pay. Example, ang applicant kay kasweldo 8,000 per month, enough to support basic needs but limitado siya for fines. So 8, test results, diri makita ang findings sa drug, psychological or medical tests. So ang report kay pwede siya magpakita ang applicant is tested negative for drugs and is mentally fit. Yan na siya mabalaan. Then ninth is criminal records. These are records from police or law enforcement agencies. For example, ang report kay ga-confirm siya na no other pending cases aside from pangawat na charge. Then ang 10th is courtesy investigation. Findings gikan sa applicant's birthplace or residence. And example lang is neighbors say the applicant is generally kanang respectful siya sa mga tao and willing din siya nga magbag-o. So lastly, other matters, any additional or related information. For example, the applicant kay na siya kanang strong family support ug mga plano to continue working after probation. So yeah. Now let's move on to the full-blown courtesy investigation or FBCI. So the FBCI is a type of general courtesy investigation nga ginahimo para mahibal-an kung ang applicant ba for probation kay gikan sa laing lugar. Like, for example, nag-commit siya og kanang crime sa Cebu pero taga Davao di siya. So ang probation office sa Davao will help gather more information about the applicant. So this investigation can only happen kung during the first investigation makita na nila nga first, the applicant is a transient offender, meaning dili siya taga dito sa lugar kung asa nahitabo ang crime. Then second is the applicant spent his younger years or young childhood or teenage years sa province or city kung asa gid siya nagdako, city of origin Then third, the applicant studied or finished yang pag-eskwela sa katong nga lugar. So example nakahuman siya dito sa Davao City National High School. Fourth, the applicant's family members or people who know him well live in that place and can give information about his behavior and background. Example ana is ang mga silingan o pamilya niya sa Davao makahatag og kanang mga testimony nga utan jud siya og willing na magbag-o. So in short, the full-blown courtesy investigation is done para mas makuha ang complete background sa applicant, no? Especially kung dili siya taga dito sa lugar kung asa nahitabo ang crime. So this helps the court make a fair decision about his probation. So that will be all for my report. Thank you.